because we were on text 24, right? Text 24, right? Yeah. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, ऊपर बैठ जाओ, ऊपर बैठो. It's okay. I totally set it up so that everybody feels comfortable and feel cozy here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because they are not a whole lot of student because once we have started, we want to finish the whole Bhagavad Gita. Even if one person comes, we'll finish it. Okay. So 8th chapter. So now tell me a little bit. What do you recollect? What this chapter 8 is all about? Whatever you can recall. So just recalling, and then we will do a quick review of the chapter 8. Chapter 8, Mata, chapter 8. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Wonderful to see you. Very wonderful to see you all. Yeah. I'm glad you are back here.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. All right. So we are just starting chapter 8, Prabhuji. Means, Prabhu, yes, sit comfortably. Sit on that. Yeah. Take the back support. Yes, I just did it that way so that everybody feels comfortable. Yeah. So chapter 8, I was just asking, what do you recall? What this chapter 8 is all about? Anything remember? Anything?
God in the form of Paramatma, one and Supreme Lord.
Okay. What do you think?
So in chapter 7, Krishna just touched upon, in the last sloka, he touched upon Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva. So now Arjuna was asking a question about to explain what are those different terms mean, including Paramatma and then. So that's where Krishna starts explaining them. And he answers most of them except Antyakalecha. So that rest of the chapter he elaborates more on Antyakalecha. So
very good.
Summary.
Good recall. Anything to add, Mataji, Pragya Mataji? That's okay. Hari Bol, Shiva Prabhu, Hari Bol. So nice to see both the brothers. Shiva brothers are here. Very wonderful to see both of you. Yes. So, yeah.
What is the right way to service?
So question is now, why Arjuna is asking what is Brahman and all those stuff, and what is the reason behind it?
Yes, I'm wondering, like in the war state, how his mind got shifted and he just like forgotten or something about the war exactly. Like
Yeah, it seems like, right? Yeah.
Thinking about this, and he's able to think.
Right.
Yeah. I think basically after speaking about Dhyana Yoga and then different vibhutis, then Arjuna was really wondering, hey, what are these terms mean? Who exactly Bhagavan means? And he wanted to understand that so that maybe whatever the vibhutis he has heard in the 7th chapter, that he can practice them.
Okay. So, yeah, so to come to chapter 8, even we can just travel back a little bit in chapter 7, right? So chapter 7, the Bhakti Yoga section starts, right? Chapter 7 is Bhakti Yoga starts. And there Krishna says that to learn this subject, you have to start from Takshanu. Remember? First word?
Yeah.
Listen, here. So the subject of Bhakti can be only understood by hearing. And that too coming from the disciplic succession, starting from Krishna, right? And that was discussed in chapter 4, right? That was discussed in chapter 4. So that's where it starts. And then Krishna tells that how he's going to talk about all the subject matters perfectly, so that after hearing, one will know Krishna fully. Okay? Then Krishna talks about that his energies. He's telling that all these 8 material energy, like earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind, intelligence, sense, false ego is his separated material energy, right? So separated just like E is equal to mc square. So the E equal to mc square is here in this verse. He's telling that these are energies. So matter is energy. That's what E is equal to mc square is. Matter is energy. Here Krishna is telling matter is energy, right? Now from there, then he talks about that how he is holding the whole pearl necklace. Verse 7, right? How he's holding, and he is that thread. That's the reason we are not able to see. Then we talked about how we see that, oh, why I cannot see Krishna? Where is Krishna? Does he exist? And then we talked about how our eyes are so limited. We cannot see the things of the world perfectly, right? We get bewildered by it. So, and then we had, remember at that time, I suppose I was teaching, right? We had gone through some of the diagrams where things seems like they are moving, right? Or they are not in a straight line, even though they were in a straight line. So it was just to show that how our eyes are limited, and those eyes are not, we cannot use those eyes directly to see Krishna right now. It has to be trained properly. Then Krishna further goes and he start giving some direction how to see him. He says that I am the taste in the water, I am the ability in man. You remember all those verses? He gives 4 verses. So now he's teaching how to see Krishna. Even with our material senses, how we can start perceiving Krishna. So anytime we taste the water, we eat the food, we find the beautiful relationships, we can feel Krishna. Krishna is coming. Okay. Uh, then further, then Krishna talks about how, what kind of people come to him. The 4 kind of people who come to him, 4 type of people who don't come to him. Right. So remember the 4. What are the 4 kind of people come? Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu, Gyani. Yeah, right? And he says that of those 4, then Arjuna asks, who is most dear to you? Who is most dear to Krishna? Of the 4? Of the 4. Gyani. He says that Gyani is most dear. Now, question is, why does he say Gyani is more dear?
Jnani is the one who understands about Lord completely.
Completely, okay, completely. The other are also trying to learn. So other way to think is, see, in Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu, they all want something from the Lord. While Gyani doesn't want, and Gyani in this case is not, we are talking about Gyani Yogi. Gyani means who has the understanding who God is, who has the understanding who God is. And he wants to know more about the God. He wants to understand God, right? So he doesn't have any motive behind it.
So it's not Jigyasu.
He's Gyani. So Jigyasu is, oh, they see, oh, how this fan works, how this light works, how this building works. Oh, I see the sun and the moon, where it is coming from. There must be some system. So that's where Jigyasu is coming from. I want to learn. I'm open-minded. I want to learn. So just Jigyasu. Gyani is, they already know that that there is Krishna, there is a God. I want to know more about him, how I can love him. So he has that understanding. So he's coming from that framework. That's the reason Krishna says, I like that person. But why he likes that person? Because after that, in the other verse, Krishna says that I love everybody. I'm impartial. I love everybody. But why he likes Gyani? What, Prabhuji?
No self-motive.
Yes, because there is no self-motive, selflessness, selflessness. So whenever we go to anybody with the selflessness, we are going to get more reciprocation, more love. And you can see that in your relationship also. If you go to your spouse with expectation, there will be reciprocation, but it's not a true, means, but it has limitation, right? Because what you are doing, what you are expecting, you get, and then what that person is expecting, you give. But when there is a selflessness, let's say a wife is approaching the husband to just serve the husband. What my husband likes, even though I may not like, but what my husband likes, I want to do that, right? Even if I'm tired, I want to serve him. Okay, let me do that, right? So that kind of service will yield the most love. You can understand, right? It is true, right? It is true. So Krishna So Krishna, that's the reason Krishna said that why I like those people. And then 4 type of people who doesn't come to Krishna. Who are those? Mudha is a yes. They are the grossly foolish people. Who else? Naradma, Maya Aparta Jnana, Asuram Bhava, Bhavita. Right? Four kind of people, right? These are people. So Mudha, who are Mudhas? Are they dumb people? Are they dumb people?
Like they are just ignorant.
They are not dumb people. They have material intelligence. They are people like us, right? But their priority is totally in a wrong direction. They think, oh, I should be working at Microsoft, I should be working at Boeing, I should be running my own business. This is the focus. And I don't have time for Krishna. So we have been given some special ability to inquire, to make progress spiritually. But when it is not directed properly, then that person Krishna refers as foolish, grossly foolish. Right? You have been given so much, but you are not utilizing your assets. Right? So grossly foolish. Naradma, the people who are men, women means they are human, but they are not doing the dharma of the human. Killing, unnecessary wasting time, eating bad foods, meat, whatever, right? So those are naradama. Then the third was Maya Apaharta Jnana. People, they are very intelligent, so-called philosophers, teachers, and they are teaching that subject matter, but themselves they don't practice. They don't practice. Correct? There are a lot of people like who are PhDs in theology. They are reading Bhagavad Gita, but they are not practitioners. So Maya Apaharta Jnana, whose mind has been taken away. They are very intelligent people. Mind has been taken away by the Maya. They don't see beyond that. And then Ashwinic one, they are all category of atheist, Mayavadis, whatever. Prabhupada even put Mayavadi in that category because they are minimizing Krishna by saying that Krishna doesn't have a form. Right? That's the reason Prabhupada. So these are the 4 kind of people who don't come to Krishna. Right? Now, so Krishna is telling, so he is starting that, okay, who he is, right? How to see him. Then he's talking about who comes, who doesn't come. Basically, now he's giving the quality of the bhaktas also, right? What kind of quality of bhakta. Then he says that there are unintelligent people who do not really completely understand him. Who are those people who do not understand him completely? Mayavadi, the people who are doing the demigod worships. So, because they are looking for the short return, I want something quick, right? So, they are looking for that. So, it's telling they're unintelligent. It's not that they are foolish. They know, but they are trying to think, oh, this will get me a quick result. But they are not. Why they are unintelligent? Because they are looking for the temporary. They are not looking for the what is the permanent, which is bhakti, right? So he talks about that. Then he talks about that to know Krishna, one has to surrender. So now it will be building the connection to chapter 8, okay? So it is around 7.25, 7.26. Krishna says that to know him, one has to surrender. Then he gives the symptom of what is the symptom of surrender. He says that those people, they don't have duality and whose sin is completely eradicated. Whose sin is completely eradicated and they are pious in this life and they have been pious in the previous life. So they are completely pure. So he's telling they're completely pure and they are serving me. Now the question happens is one can think that, oh, I am making progress, but are you completely pure? Are we completely pure at this point of time? What do you think? No?
Okay.
Right? Yeah, today in the morning I was talking the subject matter, and one person says that that it's probably is going to take him many lifetimes. He thinks that he has to incarnate many times before he can get to that stage. Even we haven't got to that fine point, that text, but still he was talking about, right? So it's a natural thing that think, oh, Krishna is saying that, okay, I understand Krishna is telling that, but I'm not there. Oh, it means I have to do, means I have to strive for many, many lifetime. Then Krishna also, after it is a good point. Many times we say that, oh, I cannot see Krishna. Why we are not seeing Krishna? Because Krishna is covered by Maya, right? So the example we give that when we say that today, right now, can you see the sun? What would you say? What would you say right now? Is sun is there or not? But why don't we see the sun?
House.
What would you say? Sun is covered by cloud? Is sun covered by cloud?
No.
What is covered by cloud? Our vision is covered by cloud. Our vision is because sun is always there, is above the cloud. Our vision is covered by cloud, right? So so similarly we think that Krishna is covered by Maya. Krishna is not covered by Maya. We are covered by Maya, right? So so further then Krishna says that, okay, if you know these 6 subjects, if anybody who knows these 6 subjects, then those people can come to me. And that's where he talks about. Go to 7 point. Let's use our book 7.30 730. Yeah, so here you see, so what is it? Those in full consciousness of me, who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the material manifestation of the demigod and of all the methods of sacrifice, can understand and know me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even at the time of death. So he gives 6 words, Adi Bhuta, right? He talks Adi Bhuta, then he says Adi Yagya, he says Adi Devam, yes, Adi Deva. So Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, Adi Yagya, Pranya, yeah, and then
Unconscious.
what is that, Prabhuji? So he mentioned 6.
Full conscious of himself.
Yeah, so yeah, so he asked Brahma. Okay, so Brahma also, right? He mentioned Brahma, Adi Atma, Karma, Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, Adi Yagya. So six things he talks about between verse 29 and 30, right? That these are 6 words. If one who knows these 6 things and they remember about these 6 things, they come to me. Now this is where, okay, now there is a hope. Oh, even if I'm not pure, but I'm on the path and I know about these 6 subjects matters, and I think about this at the time of death, I can go back to Krishna. Okay. Now, from 8th chapter, the Krishna, you see, Arjuna starts from that. He asks those questions that Krishna, tell me. He uses. See, now you're in 8.1. How many times the Kim word is used? Five times, right? So he's asking, what is Brahma, Kim Adi Atma, Kim Karma, Kim Adi Bhuta, Kim Proktam Adi Devam, right? So he asks 6 things, 5 things. He uses 5 things that tell me what are these 5 things. And then in the next verse, he asks another 3 things. Who is the Lord of sacrifice, right? So Adi Yagya, he asks what is Adi Yagya, and how does he live the body, like Dehi Ismin Pranyakale, how at the end they leave the body, right? Pranyakale, and how those engage in devotional service, right? So he asked total of 8 questions between these 2 verses. Okay, that's where the chapter 8 starts. So Krishna, and so now before I go further, see, we have to, because see, as we are going into too much of a detail, which Bhagavad Gita is taking us, we might be forgetting the glue. Why we are on chapter 8? Do we remember all the chapters? Probably not, but at least try to understand thematically. right? Krishna in the first 6 chapter is telling that who we are, right? So first, I'm like Arjuna is totally bewildered. Chapter 1. Chapter 2, because somebody is bewildered, and if you try to explain them, they won't understand because totally they are crying. They need little consolation, right? So Krishna brings him little back, and then he scolds him. Sometimes, like if somebody is crying too much, you have to shake them, right? So Krishna scolds Arjuna first, saying that you are not the Arya, right? Which is a very big thing for the. And then he gives the knowledge that you are a soul. You have to think from the level of the soul. Okay. Then he talks about the karma. He gives the knowledge of karma. Then he gives the knowledge of about himself a little bit on the chapter 4. Then he says that how knowing him one has to perform his duty, right? In the chapter 5 and chapter 6, then suddenly out of the blue, then he seems that he's talking about the Astanga Yoga because a lot of people that they think that way, right? So he talks about he gives all the yoga system. Okay, so you think that if Krishna is we are trying to know Krishna, right? So he's telling that, okay, these are all the steps to know him. There are different yoga system you can know. But now he's in chapter from starting chapter 7, he's truly telling who he is. And that's where chapter 7 linkage is starting. Chapter 8 is he's taking even deeper. Okay, I've told you who I am. Chapter 7, I'm just like a thread, right? Okay, I'm a taste in the water, you can understanding. Now, how to come to me? Attaining Krishna. Chapter 8, that's the topic of attaining Krishna, how to get to him, right? So that's the linkage. You all, so at least you can recollect those, okay? Now, from here, he adds 8 subject matter. You see, Krishna answers the first 7 questions in only two verses, text 3 and text 4. Can you read the translation of text 3? Uh, uh,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruit activities.
so see, here he has answered how many? 3 questions he answered. The Supreme was called the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman. So Brahman, you see, this word was also used many times, right? Many times this Brahman word has been used. In this context, you can understand, in general, the Brahman means which is not material. If we have the good understanding as a human, we understand we are not the body, we are the soul, then we are on the Brahman platform. We understand it completely, then we are on a Brahman platform. And in this case, the indestructible soul is referred to as Brahman because it is not material. So anything which is above the material word can be used as Brahman. Okay, so one thing is answered. Eternal nature is called Adi Atma. Our true nature is called Adi Atma. It always exists. Okay, which is the self. An action pertaining to development of the material body is living entity is called karma. Right? The karma is which is keeping us from one body to the other body. Okay. Now, text 4, Shruti Mataji, read.
So of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and the moon, is called Adideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adi Yagna,
Yeah.
the Lord of Sat.
So see 3 more, right? Two verses, 6 question covered, right? So Adi Bhuta is covered, Adi Deva is covered, Adi Yagya is covered. Okay. So now try to connect to chapter 7, the last 2 verses where Krishna is telling that if you know these 6 concepts, then it will come to me. So if you just think, if we understand who we are, who Lord is, what is our relationship, what is our material manifestation, we know all those stuff, we have understanding, naturally we'll go back to Krishna because we understand our constitutional position and we are always thinking about Krishna. So it's not that Krishna hasn't answered, he has answered those questions. But then he spent the almost all the other text from 5 to like it is to 30 or 28. How many verses? 28. So yes, right? Sorry, Mataji.
second paragraph. In this he says, therefore he is called Supreme Lord's marginal energy. According to his identification with material or spiritual nature, he receives a material or spiritual body. So I don't understand that when he's saying about marginal energy and he's talking about the spiritual body also. So he said like Jivatma, Brahma, and Parabrahma. And he's saying Parabrahma is above and beyond of all of this. But above and beyond of the spiritual body is also so the concept of spiritual body, how it interlinks.
So
That I'm not
yeah, so we have the spiritual body also. In the spiritual world, we get the spiritual body. Okay,
Yeah.
right now our body is gross body,
Yes.
right? So there is a concept of the spiritual body. And right now, the subtle body, when we leave our gross body and go to the other body, the subtle body is the one which gives the shape. How do we know that? We get the birthmark, right? You see that somebody might in the previous life has been shot or they burnt. You see those birthmark coming, right? So the impressions are there on the subtle body. So, and once we go back to spiritual world, we get the spiritual body, which is Satchit Anand. Just like Krishna is saying Satchit Anand. In fact, if in the text 5, which we are going to read again, Krishna is telling they get my nature. Why don't we read text 5?
Yeah.
Text 5 read. Yeah, text 5 read. 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, you can read the verse also. You can read. Yeah, this is the wonderful verse to memorize.
Sanchayan.
Some say, yeah.
And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once, attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt.
So see here, what's at once attains my nature. What do we understand by that? Do we become Krishna? So there are many interpretation we can make. Oh, we'll become Krishna, my nature, right? So here this is we'll get the spiritual body like Krishna. Krishna is Satchitananda, right? It's not gross body, right? We have a gross body, so we'll get that nature, right? So we have there is the concept of the spiritual body. Pragya Mataji?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So this is Antakale. So this is a very like a spiritual science, right? Krishna in chapter 7 says that I'm going to tell you all about me. He's not talking about only the gross science. He's telling about the um, uh, gross science, the spiritual science, which can be divided into the science of the subtle body and even the metaphysical science, which we don't even see, right? Metaphysical science. So he's talking about all those science, and this transmigration of the soul from one body to other body. Now that is being explained here, right? In text 5, right? This is the subjects which is like scientists are just struggling to understand, right? They're not even inquiring correctly. But so text 5, and then read text 6. हाँ बोलो माता जी.
So when we say bhakti, I forgot, but there is one mukti. So there is a childhood mukti, yes, sarupya. So those are also like spiritual body. Is it similar to getting the spiritual body?
Yes, Mataji. So see, once we are getting liberated, we are getting the spiritual body, right? Unless somebody wants to become Sayujya, or merge with the Brahman, and they want to have their identity in the Brahman. In that case, there is no body, right? You are just merging with that. But in all other four, Sarupya, Samipya, right, Saristi, all those, we are getting the spiritual body, right? So because you are going on a spiritual plane. So if you are going to Vaikuntha, there it's described that everybody looks like Vishnu. They have the four hands, or everybody looks like a Vishnu. That's a description. Means yes, Sarupya, yes, exactly. You get the same Rupa. It's like Rupa like Krishna. So even but there is a Saristi, you are getting the same opulences like Krishna, but you still have the Roop. So Roop concept is always there.
But like our nature and everything, that doesn't go with us because that is not part of the Atma, right? And the traveler is the Atma. So I had this question in the morning because the traveler is Atma who travels from material to spiritual world, and there and our like the ichha which we have of getting like about God, to be serving to God or being with him and all that, will also, we will leave that also here because that's not part of Atma.
No,
So
no,
what is
okay.
so still after reading all the Bhagavad Gita, what is Atma? I'm still again back to that
No,
question.
no. So what is Atma means you're saying that what is Atma? Atma is our own spiritual self. That is who we are.
What is the characteristics of
Characteristic of Atma. So right now it is reflected through our desire and hate. And this is again in chapter 7, right? Read the chapter 7.28. Go to read 7.28. Two eight. 7.28. 7 chapter 28 verse.
Answer that question actually, like you are thinking like once we are Atma, going beyond the material nature and the spiritual world. So we are like
forget about everything.
yeah, correct. So you're thinking like we are leaving the mind, we are linking, leaving the false ego, everything we are leaving, and we are going as only pure soul, right?
Yes.
So whether all these thoughts will be there or not, you are thinking, right? So
Thoughts
I mean, tendency to serve God or
Yes,
these things
yes,
also will go or not.
yes.
See, by definition of the soul itself, what is the constitutional position? Like we are servant of Krishna, right? The dharma of the soul itself is a servant of Krishna.
Okay.
So when we are into the spiritual mind, the spirits dharma, like just like salt being salty, the dharma of soul itself being servant of Krishna. So when you are in spiritual world, you do based on your whatever moksha or whatever liberation you do that kind of service to
Okay.
Krishna. So
That's
that
a good
by
example.
definition itself, we are our dharma itself to be servant of Krishna, right? So to remember it easily, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say, Jivera Swarupa Nitya Krishna Dasa. So that means every Jiva's Swarupa, that means its characteristics, whatever you're thinking. So we are servant of Krishna. So by definition itself, we are thinking it's we have that servitorship to the Lord. So we no need to think of whether those love towards Krishna will be there or not after going to spiritual world. There is no, because our the soul definition itself, like soul dharma is servitor. Is my
No, very good, very good,
Yeah.
very good. And
Very
read, but yeah, read 7 also. Read, sorry, 27 word, 27, 28, sorry.
In this life and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of illusions, and they engage themselves in my service with determination.
With determination, right? So, and then where is that?
Prabhu, what does this
Iksha and Dvesa. Okay, so I just want to bring you the Iksha and Dvesa. Was it
27.
27?
Yeah.
Okay, so 27. O Scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion. Bewildered by dualities arises reason from desire and hate. Okay, so it's not so when we think of the subtle body, so as a soul, we have the pure desire. Okay, we have the pure desire. So that's where Prabhu's answer is we have a pure desire, which is to serve Krishna. But with this material subtle body, that is now reflected as desire for enjoyment, for my enjoyment, and love and hate, ikshadvesa. And that is the cloud. When we say there is a cloud, I cannot see Krishna, that is the cloud. That is the symptom that I am in Maya, and that Maya, which is through the subtle body, it is coming as iksha and dvesa.
So those vikars which we say, and that without getting rid of them, we cannot cross.
Yes, without that, we cannot go to the spiritual world because Krishna is pure. He wants us to be pure, get ready. There should be no duality. As long as there is a duality, which is I hate somebody, I like this one, I do not like this one, then means I'm in duality, which means I'm under Maya. If I'm under Maya, I'm not pure, means I'm not eligible to go to Krishna.
Moment or last breath if somebody remembers. But what if he's full of all these vikars and he's still able to say the name of Krishna?
So,
Then he,
yeah, so Krishna is so kind, and that's where you see the Ajamil story in Bhagavatam.
yeah,
You've heard, right? You all have heard, right? So what was the essence? What kind of man Ajamil was, and why then he went to the Vishnu? How come the Vishnu
Son's name
was Narayana? So even though he was not calling Narayana as Narayana, he was just calling his son, but because he was calling with so much of intensity, right, without any fault, he gets the effect for that. So Krishna is so kind, even though we are not perfect. That's the reason, like chapter 7, we are saying Krishna is telling you have to be pure. Then he's telling that you need to know these 6 things. Still, I'll bring it to you. But even the Krishna even brings that down, and he says that even if you remember me, even throughout the life you are remembering me, and you're not able to cleanse yourself. You have to be sincere, right? So I cannot use the Krishna as a crutch. I'm chanting and then I'll go and do the sin. That is called aparadh. For that, Krishna is not going to take us back, right? In this Ajamil case, he was telling the name of Krishna, and he was a very pious person before he marries the prostitute. He was a very pious person, right? But so Krishna remembered all his things, and then he saw that he was calling Narayana. So that calling name took away all his sins. Is so powerful. Okay, so Krishna is also compared. Our Acharya says that Krishna comes like a cat, and to save the kitten, how the cat holds the kitten by this by her by
Panja.
panja or whatever English word. Yeah, yeah. So with her hand, right? How yeah, she and then takes the similarly Krishna will come, and so even in a difficult situation, I'm like a practitioner, right? And I know that I'm not pure at, but I'm trying. And let's say suddenly a time comes, accident or something, Krishna will come and he will create the ambience in such a way that either you are able to remember, right? Or there are people who are chanting or something will happen so that this 5th verse will also become true, right? That will happen. Or if in the worst case, let's say there was what Mataji?
has he said it that he will.
Yes, there is a verse like he will take us.
Yeah,
Because in the 8.2 also, Arjuna is saying that what if I will be choked up and I can't chant your name? What will
yeah.
happen?
Yeah, so Krishna in that case, he will come and give the remembrance. He will bring the devotees, and you can see, and there are verses not directly in this right now in the I can't recollect directly from the Bhagavad Gita, but there are verses in Bhagavatam where through the stories it comes out that how Krishna saves his devotee, right? And it will come like in the 9th chapter itself. It will come. Krishna says that he will is like a real insurance program that what you have, I preserve. What you lack, I give to you. What is that verse? 9.21 or something like that. Okay. So you'll hear as you're going. Yes. So Krishna is very, very kind. Very, very kind. So the 9.5 and 9.6 is passing the exam. How to pass the exam? Antakale, whatever we remember, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam, whatever we remember, that's the state we get. Right? So, but the question comes, what if I get in coma? What if I have an accident? Right? I don't have time. Right? Will I still go back to Krishna? Krishna is very kind. He's he's very kind. If there is if there is and there is no flaw. If you think that I have been sincere and I have chanted even once with the sincerity, he will take us back.
जब बोलते हैं कि डेथ के बाद पता नहीं है कितना वो 100 scorpions आपको
Yeah, the 40 million is Scorpio, right? That is a very difficult experience. Yes, yeah. Tell me.
तो वो सब अगर that is based on the karmas, like
So-
you get, then How is this thing also happening कि वो आकर ले जाते हैं?
तो
अगर
देखो
तो कभी लाइफ में हर एक ने कुछ कुछ अच्छा किया ही है।
नहीं तो इसमें अच्छे वाली बात नहीं है. Pious action is only building the next body. It is not taking us to transcendental abode. Pious action is only taking you to the next body, good body, but not to the transcendental abode. Transcendental abode, we have to be doing the bhakti yoga with sincerity, which is chanting his name, doing the seva, and sincerity. In our name, there shouldn't be the 10 offenses on the name, like the 10 aparadh we have on the we read every day. The 10 aparadh, we shouldn't be doing that, right? That and chanting with attention. So those things are required.
अपनी बात का खराब रहा तो उसके बाद एक नाम से अगर उसे ले जाते हैं तो लोग बहुत
हाँ तो मतलब Krishna is very kind. Lot of is so that's the reason Prabhupada is telling his given in his Bhagavad Gita as it is in all the book. He says that the path which I am giving, which I have given you, that you have to focus. Do not do these 4 things, right? No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling. So which is don'ts. What are the do's? You do the chanting, you do the service, ABCD, right? Association, book, chanting, and diet. Do these 4 things. And if you do it sincerely, you will come back to Krishna. Okay? But if the people are doing it, but they are pretenders, many times externally they say, oh, they are doing it, but they are pretenders. Internally, I have a lot of desire, I want to enjoy, I want to do this. So in that case, it becomes a problem. It's an internal thing. Krishna consciousness is internal. So, and let me take you to a little bit here, little deviation. So, Gaudiya, in the Gaudiya Vaishnavism tradition, right? There was the time when there was a lot of Sahijism. Sahijism word have you heard? Sahijya. Sahijya means they think that everything is very easy. They live like a Sakhi bhav. They live like a Sakhi. They pretend I am a Sakhi. They start dressing like a Sakhi and they do like that. But outside they are having illicit connection. Like on the pretext of Sakhi, they're having illicit connections and they're telling we are just doing Radha Krishna play. So when Bhakti Vinod Thakur saw that, he said that, oh, that's really bad. And then he further emphasized. So you see, there is the sadhana bhakti and then there's the raga nuga bhakti. So sadhana bhakti will lead to raga nuga. Raga nuga is the way you are following on the footstep of Vrajvasi, gopis, gopas, how they have the relationship. That's the raga nuga. Raga nuga. Okay, so those things will be coming reading in the when we read the bhakti text. There is a book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Will go a lot deeper in there. But we will be while Bhagavad Gita itself we will be covering it a little bit. Okay, so Raga Nuga, and within the Raga Nuga also there are 2 parts: married and unmarried. Okay, so which is there are married gopis with Krishna, right? And they are unmarried, like the what do you call? I'm forgetting the term. Just give me a minute. Love in separation, actually. Okay, I want to say love, which is in proximity, and the other is love in separation. What is the word love in separation?
Vipralambha.
Vipralamba bhav. Okay, that's true. Vipralamba bhav. Okay, I'll remember the
new concept.
yes. Yeah, so why I'm taking, so let's not go to a little deviation. I'll tell, okay, why. So so why I brought this topic. So in the parampara, they said that lot of people, they focus on the external and they go too quickly, they go into the raga nuga without even getting purified. So Raghunath Das Goswami has also written a book called Mana Shiksha, where he talks about how the focus on the internal is so important, how we should avoid all this duplicity. We have this duplicity outside. We try to show that, oh, I am Vaishnava, I am wearing the Brahman thread, and I am but In the night, I am doing all kind of stuff, right? So as long as we are focusing on the internal, we'll go back to Krishna. And in this, that's the reason, like you see, for a lot of people, ISKCON may not be easy. Like when they, let's say you start following the Krishna, ISKCON may not be the easy path because they are asking for chanting 16 rounds, right? So the entry point has become very hard, right? It's just like getting into Harvard, or you can go and learn from other colleges also, but some colleges have more reputation than the others. Because ultimately we have to remember Krishna, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. You will hear the verse coming late, chapter 9 and 10th. Okay, we have to remember to ultimately that's the goal. Somebody can start with 2 and they may get, so there are 4 Vaishnava Sampradaya, right? They have different level. Some Sampradayas, they focus on the deity worship. Okay, they Sri Sampradaya, they focus a lot on the deity worships. Okay, that's how they approach. So every Sampradaya, the goal is, the authentic Sampradaya, the goal is to remember Krishna 24/7. That's the goal. Okay, but now to enter, ISKCON say that, okay, I really want to see that you are serious about it, right? And the Prabhupada has, like, from 64 round he made to 16 rounds, so you know the Kali Yuga is very difficult, and then you should be maintaining those, and then only they say that, okay, 6 months, you once you decide the guru, you wait for 6 months, and you shouldn't go and get the initiation immediately. What you'll see in some of the our Gaudiya Sampradaya also, like we have seen here, just to get the disciple, the guru comes and they say that, okay, I'll give you the Diksha. Japa, Mala, you just chant. They don't even look for the condition, because these days gurus are also looking for the disciple. If the more disciple I have, my things will grow, right? Our things will flourish, right? So why I'm bringing this topic, you see, bhakti is easy, yet it is difficult. You have heard this. Bhakti is easy, yet it is difficult. What is easy? What is difficult in bhakti?
Lord in love, and that is easy, but it's not easy to attain that state without even performing certain purifying rituals.
So see, principle is easy. Bhakti principle is very easy. You have to love Krishna.
Turning thinking actions.
Is difficult, right? Impediment, the obstacles, getting rid of the obstacles is very difficult. All those things comes, my job, my spouse, my children, my relationship, my, right? Those things becomes impediment, right? So practice, the subtlety becomes difficult due to our anarthas. And that's where the sadhana helps. So any authentic religion, they will, if they are really living to the purity, they will push us to maintain a strong sadhana. And that is not for them, it is for us, because they push us to strong sadhana. In that case, they're increasing our chance of Satatam Kirtayantoma, so that we can go back to Krishna. Attachment. So your husband, you may, for a woman, it's very important they serve their husband. Okay. But if the service is due to the attachment, so there's a love, responsibility, and attachment. Do you distinguish these words, or they look similar to you? Look similar? Okay. There's a subtle difference. Attachment is when I am looking for something for me. My husband is very smart. My husband should protect me. My husband should take care of my need. My needs are to go shopping or whatever, right? So there can be those things. Or my needs are that I should be loved. I should be cared. I should feel important. So there can be so many subtle needs, right? There are subtle needs. If I expect that, and that's okay, right? But then there's a there's affection and responsibility. That, okay, I have got married to my man, and I have to provide him affection that is needed. But if there's too much of attachment on the bodily platform, right? Similarly, the attachment with the kid, my kid, and you'll see that those things will say, if you'll get there are some people, they get very angry and mad if their child doesn't do well in their school, because they are competing with others through their child. They want their child to be topper. They're pushing their child for that purpose, right? While affection can be, I want my child to be a good student. Really, I'm going to encourage him to be a good student and everything. Yet I'm looking for that. What is his ultimate goal? Ultimate goal is that I have to train him to become Krishna consciousness so that he can go back to Krishna, right? That's the affection coming up, right? Affection is from the point of view of the Krishna, right? Attachment is from the point of view of me. You're doing the similar action, but the concept is different. Concept different. I can be too attached to my wife, or I can be affectionate to my wife without being attached. So it's not that I shouldn't give my love to affection to my wife, because there is a need for her to get some affection. There's a need because she is born as a woman, right? Now, but if I'm attached to her skin, then I'm attached. So in that case, I'll get angry, mad at her. If she doesn't do something, I'll get shout. But if I'm affectionate, then the symptom will be even if she doesn't do something which I don't like. If she does something which I don't like, still I'll think that, oh, what can I learn from it? See, in affection, I'm more forgiving. Attachment, anger will come immediately. So those are symptoms. If the anger you are getting anger with your relationship, those are a very good sign of attachment. Very good sign of attachment. In the case of affection, the reflection is mostly on myself. What did I do? How I can improve? How can I serve my husband better? How can I serve my children better? And then yes, Mataji, kuch bole the?
So, if we are not affected by what is happening to us, but if we are seeing something happening to others, then also should we practice, tolerance, or should we?
Give a little bit more when you say that they are affected by what? What they are affected by?
Like, if the crime is a big thing, then certainly you will go for justice, right? You will report it. But if there's simple thing, like verbal abuse kind of thing is happening
Okay.
to
Somebody.
any other person,
Okay.
so then should you? But that triggers anger inside you. So at that moment,
Yes.
should we suppress that?
No.
Or should we-
No. So what was Arjuna when he was fighting? Was he not angry? Yeah. So to fight, you have to be really angry. Then only you can bring you'll fight like vigor. If you're not angry, you cannot fight without vigor. With vigor means you have to be. Otherwise, you'll be like, even let's say you're at work. If you're really like, why the passion comes? Because there's a certain goal you want to achieve, and that's the reason you are doing very hard work. If there's no goal or something, then okay, I'll do a little bit. So to fight, you need to have anger. So we have to direct our anger in a right way. So we have to see, in this situation, we have to see whether you have the authority on that person, like what is the situation, right? Do you have the authority which you can go and intervene yourself? If you're a parent and you see something is happening, then that's your authority, because that's your responsibility that your child is not performing something, right? Or they making a mistake you should do. Let's say your neighbor, what kind of relationship you have with your neighbor, then you say, oh, they are doing the crime, then and it is going to be bad, then I should go and report to police. So it depends on that, right? But the devotee, I mean, still I'm not too sure where what the real example of the question is.
Parts for different things, like anger, like you just said, anger, passion, or not dvesh, but at least, but anger is the thing that we use to even like, not internally, but at the top layer, we have to show that.
Sometimes for
So
creating
how
some
to
benefit
balance?
for the
How
others
to
so that they are like, if we see something is off track and we want to put the things back on track. So we get angry just to
And that's
make
fine.
it
Anger,
that's
see,
from-
anger again. So you are basically saying that, hey, you are saying that anger is one of the characteristic to know that I'm attached, right? But you're telling that there are anger which is a control anger. You're doing it, using it as a tool. Yeah, that's not attachment. That's not attachment, right? So yeah, that's not attachment. So many times, like, that you have to scold your children to keep them on the straight line, because that's your responsibility, right? So you're getting angry, but then sometimes, and because I have gone through that, so I know. So sometimes you're not able to control the anger. That's a very good sign of attachment. If you're a controlled anger, you get angry at your son or daughter, but and then you control. You know that, okay, then because that was a controlled anger, right? So it's just like a knife. What to cut? How much to cut? Or you just keep cutting,
Yeah, it's just like a tool. You're
right?
using it as a tool and you're
Right?
aware of that you are using a tool.
So then it's totally fine. But so you'll see that getting and that anger leading to stress, anxiety, those are all the good sign of being attached. Because less in this kind of anger, you won't be getting into anxiety because you use the anger for the purpose.
Yes.
You're not getting. But if you're really angry with your husband or with your child, you'll be thinking about it throughout the day. Why that happened? What did I have? And then you're thinking more and more and more and more, and then again the fight is happening. Right? That is a very good sign.
It is becoming a tool right now. But कभी कुछ बहुत मेजर हो गया तो फिर पता नहीं वो टूल रहेगा फिर से वो वापस उस जोन में चले जाएगा
So
कोई डर रही थी
fall
like,
back हो
no,
जाएगा।
so you will, so as you are growing on a spiritual journey, you will have better control on these tools. If initially in the beginning stage it may seems like that, oh, we know the things, but then Krishna will giving us this test in our life. He will be giving us this test in our life through which you will be able to practice and you will see where you are. So Krishna is very nice teacher. He will give us the small exam before the final exam of death.
So sure.
Yeah.
He has a factory.
Yeah, a small test he will keep giving so that we can become purified. And we say, oh, मैं फिर fail कर गया. मैं फिर fail कर गया. But then one day you will start passing. Okay. So 5 and 6. Okay, so we talked about 5 and 6. Okay, those are two very important words. How to pass the exam. Then what happens? So art of dying, right? So that was the how to die, right? Art of dying. The question is in the dying. See, everybody knows that we had to die, but why they are scared? There's a 40,000 scorpion bite. What I have been told, and this is from the.
You scared me.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah,
I died.
yeah. It is said that for the materialistic people, and why it is because they say in the just moment before the death, your whole life will just go like a movie. Whole life just travels like it. And in that movie, you're thinking, oh, I'm losing my husband. I'm losing my children. What will happen to all my property? Oh, they are this. So it's so painful to disconnect, right? So you know that we all know that we are going to die. But after dying, where are we going to go? What will happen after I die? That's the part we don't know, and that causes all the pain. When we are studying spirituality, we understand. We will, if not, if we are a practitioner, if not, back to Krishna, I'm going to get a body which is conducive enough for me to continue my journey of practicing the devotional service.
Next body में सब होता है जो ऐसे बताते हैं।
जब आत्मा आपकी when the atma, so next body doesn't happen immediately, right? So there is a process. You can read in the Garuda Puran when a lot of people they die, they read the Garuda Puran. Garuda Puran. Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of things are given. So first you go to the
सबको ये पास करना ही पड़ता है ऐसा जो पेनफुल वाला पार्ट बताते हैं।
नहीं, painful. No, नहीं. For the devotee who are going back to spiritual world, they immediately get the spiritual body. Okay, they go Vishnu Duta comes. So it is only the Yamraj part. Yamraj part, and especially Yamraj part when you have done people have done a lot of bad things.
अजामिल के केस में मुझे बहुत सरप्राइजिंग इसीलिए लगा है कि वो एक नाम से इतना कैसे मतलब तो फिर तो वही जैसे चाहे हम बिगनर है चाहे कोई बहुत है तो हर कोई कर रहा है कुछ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे आई डोंट नो इफ व्हेन वी चैंट द पीपल हु चैंट 16 राउंड्स और व्हेन वी चैंट इवन वन राउंड maybe at one point of time maybe we are very connected, maybe the rest of it we are not connected, but does that only work out?
No, actually, shall I answer twice?
बोलिए माता जी.
I would say that only one name is enough, but that has to be like that has to have that intensity. So we say the name every day, that's practicing, but saying the name with that intensity, one time isn't even enough to achieve. So he might have taken that.
That intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mataji. So from external, somebody might be chanting 64 rounds, and one might be chanting a single round, but maybe the person who's chanting the 64 round doesn't go back. And they may be planned by Krishna that this person who's chanting one round, he was chanting one round, but in the kind of circumstances he was chanting, with the purity he was chanting, right? That was more much purer, right? At the purest state. So that person goes. The other person 64 rounds, still he has to journey to cross. Right. So, but it's not that 64% that he's going to get the suffer and is going to go to the hell. He will get a nice body in the family, in the Vaishnava or somewhere where he or she will be able to continue.
विकार कम करने कर दो, लाइफ बेटर उस तरीके से हो कि हम जो एक्शंस या व्हाटएवर मतलब पॉइस लाइफ की तरफ आते हैं, दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट या चैंटिंग बिकम्स मोर इम्पोर्टेंट टुगेदर इट मेक्स इट.
So chanting removes the vikar. Chanting, when you are chanting, it purifies you. So it says that chanting is the medium and the goal, both. Because once you go to the spiritual world, what you will be doing? You are doing the chanting because you are remembering Krishna all the time, right? You are remembering Krishna all the time, remembering the past time. In fact, sometimes you might be seeing the past time. You might be participating in the past times, depending on what Krishna wants you to do. But you are remembering him all the time. So now bhakti is, that's the reason why I say bhakti is so easy. It means principle wise that you are practicing the same thing right now, and while you are practicing, it is purifying you. It is purifying you. So that's the reason, like, as you're chanting, typically what we have seen, the average people, when they're sincerely chanting for 10-15 years, they get to into a very good pure stage if they have chanted sincerely. Okay. So death. So what is the death from the spiritual perspective? What is the definition of death from the spiritual perspective?
Leaving the body and
What is Prabhu?
leaving the body and getting.
Yeah, the soul leaving one body and get in death is what is dying? Anything is dying? Death is, but we say that body is dead anyway. It's matter.
Elevating to the next level, maybe in a positive side or negative side, based on
So what we are saying that in death, nothing is dying because the dead matter. Body is dead matter. Dead matter is being, because there is a soul. It is not dead. Otherwise, body is a dead matter, right? So death is only the transition from one body to the other body. Now, when we are getting this knowledge and we are understanding it, we are trying to practice it, then naturally at the time of death, these things won't bother. In fact, that time the devotee, the Guru practitioner, they are welcoming, okay, I'm going to Krishna. They know I'm going to Krishna because all the time they are remembering Krishna. Even if they go to coma, Krishna's thought is there. So yes, Mataji, boliye.
8.8.
We will come to 8. Okay, we'll come to 8, Mataji. So I just want to, so 6 we covered. Okay, and then 7. Okay, 7. Okay, so I think we missed 7. So here, if you read, here Krishna is telling, think of me, then fight. Why Krishna is telling that think of me, then fight? Why not fight and then think? Read 7, what it says.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु माम् अनुस्मरण युध्य च मयि अर्पित मनोबुद्धिर् मामेव इष्यसि असंशयः. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
Okay, so why Krishna is telling first think of me and then fight? Why?
Do it for myself, for my sake, not for...
No, but I can then fight and then think of Krishna. But here he's telling why he's putting the precondition, first you think and then fight.
Same time.
At the same time.
It will be clear if you think about Krishna.
Yeah, the baseline has to be,
Vyavasaya.
yeah, the baseline has to be stable, right? If my baseline is I'm not thinking Krishna, and then I'm thinking about something else, and then my actions then may not be pertinent to Krishna. When I first set the goal, I want to work for Krishna, I want to fight for Krishna, I want to do, and I want to bring anger for Krishna. Hanumanji, when he burned the Lanka, he was very angry. So he first said on Ramji, I'm serving the Ramji. So his mind, his context was, I'm remembering Ramji. And then he was ready to burn Lanka. Right? Arjuna here, first thing Krishna. Krishna is telling I have to fight. So I'm thinking about Krishna. Now I'm fighting. Right? So what we have to do in our life, we have to prioritize the spiritual. We cannot say that I don't have time. Right? So we have to prioritize our spiritual life. We have to prioritize our chanting. And once we prioritize, and then we go and fight the material world. We live because we are in the material body, right? You have the responsibility as a wife, as a mother, and other relationships. So you cannot say that, I don't have time for these things. You have to make some time. There can be some extreme situation where there will be certain time in your life where extreme situation where you'll say that I don't have time. Somebody got sick very much. But still, those are very, very extreme circumstances. In most cases, people can chant. Even at the deathbed, people can chant. They cannot chant on the beat, but they can chant in their mind.
That we have to chant.
So the baseline is that Krishna is my goal, my desire. I want to go back to Krishna. I want to remember Krishna. That's the baseline. So that should always go in our mind. That then when I'm doing this work, is Krishna is going to like this work? Is it relationship with Krishna or not? If I'm taking care of my husband and is it in relationship with Krishna? How can I have the relationship with my husband in a way which is conducive for Krishna consciousness? How can I have the relationship with my children which is conducive for Krishna consciousness? You will always be thinking like that, and then you will act accordingly. So you'll see that naturally by just doing that, our tendency to commit the sin is propensity to enjoy ourselves. That will start diminishing. Okay? So that's 7. Anything else? Now Mataji 8. Bolo.
He does not use mam Sanskrit. He said Paramam Purusham. So he's saying, he's talking about himself, but he's saying the supreme person. He's not saying mam. I was just thinking. He's saying meditate on me. So that is a meaning that Prabhupada has determined. But in Sanskrit, it doesn't say that. It says, by practice being engaged in meditation by the mind and intelligence, without that being deviated, the supreme personality of Godhead. Paramam Purusham, the personality of transcendental, achieves the transcendental state.
Right.
So
what is the question, Mataji?
He's talking about himself, but he's not saying.
Yeah. So in the other previous verses also he says that, right? When he in 6.47 he gives all the yoga system, then he says that as per my opinion, Bhakti Yoga is the best. He doesn't. So he always he doesn't imposes himself. Many places he talks in the third form also. Because he's acting as a friend. He's acting as a friend. Yeah, many places he talks in the third form.
Few verses
he take the me also. Yeah, many times. Yeah. So it's a conversation is happening between the friend, right? Between the friends. So they are friends, but in this case, the teacher and a student also. So sometimes the friendly relationship comes, and from that aspect he talks. From other times he's talking more directly as a teacher.
I think here, since Arjuna has a feeling like, okay, he is going to kill and he is going to get the sin, and everything he is attributing to himself. But I think here Krishna is trying to clarify him. You are not the Bhokta. The Parama Purusha is the Bhokta. So you have to remember him. indirectly he's telling himself only, but he is saying it's not like you are going to be the enjoyer. It's the enjoyer. The Supreme Lord is the enjoyer. So therefore, you have to practice in remembering him, and that's what Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Karma Purusham Divyam.
Yeah.
So indirectly, he's saying the Bhokta is the enjoyer, and you have to work for him, not for yourself. Don't think that you are the enjoyer. With that's what maybe I'm getting.
Yeah. So see, if you read the translate word by word translation of Abhyasa Yoga, by practice, Yuktena, being engaged in meditation, Chetasa, by the mind and intelligence, Na Anta Gamina, without their being deviated, Paramam, the supreme, Purusham, personality of Godhead, Divyam, transcendental, Yati, one achieve, Partha, O son of Pritha, Anush, Anushchintanayan, Anuchintayan, constantly thinking of me, right? So your question is why Krishna is talking about that you will come Purusham, right? Why he could have just used his word me. Is that's your question? Yeah, he could have used, but yeah, it's just a conversation is happening means, but the meaning is very clear. Yeah, of course he could have used, but the emphasis, right? The emphasis is that he is telling that, yeah. So I there may be some I think our Acharya they might give a good explanation why Krishna is talking about in the third form. So yeah, and so for me right now this purport here Prabhupada doesn't goes into the detail of that. I read quickly. I don't see that. So there may be some explanation for that why Krishna talks in the third form in here. But it's not the only place where Krishna is talking about the third form. Other places also he has talked in the third form. Right? Okay, 9. So, but here the takeaway is we have to do practice. We have to practice. Okay, now from verse 9, he starts talking about Sat Chakra Yoga, right? What is the destination, right, of the and those are the one should just what is the summary of this?
He doesn't say in Bhagavad Gita, he doesn't say take my name. He says meditation, right? Thinking of me.
Thinking of me, yeah, thinking of me, yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, thinking of me, yeah, thinking of me. Yeah, yeah. So ultimately,
that's the gist.
that's the gist. But how would you practice thinking about you? If so, now this is where come internal matter. Somebody say, many people say that. Oh, I always think, I always think about Krishna all the time. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a great thing. But now you observe their life, what they are doing. If they are thinking about Krishna, they should be doing work for Krishna. If I'm thinking about Krishna, but I'm doing all the other work, I'm not thinking about Krishna. So initially, that's the reason it's recommended that one has to chant the name, right? And by chanting, constantly chanting, I'm developing that affection and love. Because right now, due to my subtle quality, I'm not able to build that pure connection with Krishna.
Especially Kali Yuga.
Yeah. Impurity has always been there, and Kali Yuga is worse, right? So that's the reason.
We deviate easily.
Yeah, internal. It's all internal. Yeah. Okay.
In the seventh text, that is what he was saying. Mom, he is saying that clearly.
There?
Yeah.
In the seventh text, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha.
Yeah.
Mom, he is clearly saying, right?
Unto me.
Maya Pita Mano.
Mai or mom? Yes.
Mom, he is saying, right? And Maya Pita, Mai means it's on me, he is saying, right? So,
Nice.
Yeah.
He is clear, but it's like, yeah, in every sloka, he will not say me.
Yeah. It's a conversation happening, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So from 9 to 16, it is about practice remembrance. How to practice remembering Krishna. So that's the theme of 9 to 16. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun. He is transcendental beyond this material nature. Now, in this case, he is talking about he. Krishna is not telling me. He's telling he. right? So see here, so if Krishna is not always all the time he's telling that he's making himself as a center of attraction, he's telling me, he's telling that that's supreme, and then some other places that supreme is me. So he concludes that, right? So you see that that's the way he's talking. So see, so this is how the remembrance, this is how one has to practice the remembrance. Who Krishna is, oh, he's the controller, he's controlling. So I should know, and that should make me humble. And then the 10, he says, one who at the time of death fixes his life here between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with the undevi. So this is a Sat Chakra Yoga, which goes from verse 10, 11, 12, I think, where he's telling how they control the air, and from there they take it and then they shoot it, right? And those things are very hard to do, right? So becoming just a yogi just by yoga is, of course, again he's bringing and saying that it's not easy. 12, we say the yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life here at the top of the head. One establishes himself in the yoga.
At the time that fixed his life air between eyebrows and strength of yoga, within deviating mind, himself in remembering death.
Actually, when that happens, right, people say, see, he has opened his eyes, so maybe his soul has left from his eyes. We used to hear such console statements. So I think they are aware of it in blood, it is there.
No, so that is not talk. So see, soul goes from somewhere. Here is talking.
It goes from here.
So in some, so here, so in this case, eye open. That is how my grandfather died. I still remember his eye was opening, then close, opening, then close, then open and then remained open.
Yeah.
So the soul went. So for some people it will go. So Sat Chakra Yoga, it shoots from here. So people, it shoots from here. Those who are yogi, right? They will shoot. So they want to, let's say, go to Brahmaji's planet. They will shoot with the force that can go to land on the Brahmaji planet.
Yeah.
And then let's say if they are I want to go to Krishna Lok, they can shoot, right? But those are the yogis. So here Krishna is telling that there's other method also through which people go. But then you can decide, is that the method Sat Chakra Yoga can you practice, right? So probably not. So anyway, so you can just quickly read 10 to 16, just quickly read. If there anything else you would like to talk, I think I want to come to 24 so that we next week we can start from 24. See, in the 16th says, from the highest planet to the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, between where repeated birth of death and takes place. But one who attains me to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. So this 14 planetary system, right? The devatas, they live on the above planetary system. The demons, the demonic type, they live on the lower planetary system. So everywhere, even in the Brahma Loka, those are all the places which will get destroyed. Right? Those are not the transcendental world. And there, as long as there is death, there will be misery. Right? And then so 16 up to 16, it talks about the remembrance. And then 17, yes, Mataji. After that, then it talks about the material world and the spiritual world, 17 to 22.
The meaning of yogina is devotee. Okay.
What, Mataji?
Yogina. The meaning written is devotee.
Yeah, okay.
The sense of that.
It's not a regular, normal devotee. It's like purest form of devotee, I think. Yogi.
Yeah, so
14th text.
Yeah, so what is the question? Yeah. What is the question?
This is saying why yogina is called as devotee.
Yeah, so here, so see. No, okay. No, okay. So now why you are reading like that, right? So if you're just, if we don't understand the Sanskrit, I don't know Sanskrit, okay? So if we don't understand Sanskrit, we say, oh, yogi, Why it is devotee? Yogi means yogi. But now you go, what Krishna has given the definition of yogi in chapter 6. Yeah. If you're yes. So then in that case, in this context, because it is about the Ananya Bhakti, it is talking about for the one who always remember me without deviation. Without deviation means always remembering with the pure state, right? So from that perspective, see, to give the correct meaning, so like a Brahman has n number of meanings, right? Now, when I should use which meaning, there is a Sanskrit grammar which tells that how to understand this is the meaning which has to be used. So like in our when we are writing the programming, we have overloaded operators. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Right? The same function, the same different parameters, right? It can use. So same thing with the Sanskrit. Okay, so that's the reason. If you're getting confused with the word that why yogi, in this case yogi, the meaning is this, because there's a Sanskrit behind it, and and these are written based on the Sanskrit dictionary, right? So that's where what the meaning is coming from.
Like we can think this way, like all yogis may not be devotee, but all devotees are definitely a yogi.
Yes, that is Krishna has. Yes, very, very good point. Krishna has mentioned when in the 6th chapter when we are discussing. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Like Yoginaha means once he is a devotee, like pure devotee, he is already achieved all the yoga standards. That means, so all yogis may not be devotees, but all devotees are already yogis.
So the devotees who are at the Ananya Bhakti level,
Yeah.
those
Correct.
devotees are yogis.
Yes. So they already achieve all the who are doing Ashtanga Yoga benefits, they would already achieved all this.
And
practitioners are also called
yeah,
devotees.
just like that, you when somebody is becoming gone to the medical school, right? They're not even doctor, but still people call them doctor. When they come to the hospital, they haven't passed the medicine, right? They haven't given the doctor title yet, right? They still we call them doctor. So similarly, if somebody start practicing, it is that it's just a matter of time. They will become a perfect devotee, right? So they are called devotee. To ourselves, we don't call devotee because we know that we have to put ourselves. We shouldn't tell, oh, I am a devotee, because I know that, oh, I have so many faults. But the other person I always see in a higher esteem. Okay? So I call the other people I call devotee. I will always say, oh, I am.
I remember the story which Chaitanya Prabhu the president of ISKCON Abyss, Prabhuji was saying, Krishna, the purest devotee is Radharani. Radharani, if we call Radharani as purest devotee, what to call about Shambhu, who is the next level, and what to call about Hanuman. And but still we call ourselves as devotees. What we call that?
Yeah.
So the level of
there's a level of devotee also. Yeah, level of devotee also. But they're all called devotee. But there are a level, even the love, right? So they Ananya Bhakti, and then even Krishna for Radharani, there is Raga, Anuraga, Satvik Bhava. There are different level of bhavas. It goes into a lot of detail. The kind of love Radharani, somebody can be a pure devotee, okay, but then how their love is compared to Radharani's love?
We are nowhere to be called as devotee, but we are just, like Prabhuji said, doctors, we still call them doctors.
So yeah, so it is a common practice because
Yeah.
why? Because even if somebody has chanted one name of Krishna with the whole intent, they have achieved perfection. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. So anybody who is practicing, we call devotee because they might be perfect. They've chanted at least once. They have a lot of imperfection, but they've chanted once, like Narayana. So they may be way back to Godhead. Right? So it's very hard to say, right? So that's the reason we have to put the very highest standard for ourselves. For other people, we always put the very lowest standard. Lowest standard means we always think that they are much higher than us. So we should be more critical to us, where I am, because I know ourselves, right? Okay, so 17, 18, 19 is all about the material world, right? It talks about the day of the Brahma, and then duration of Brahma is 1 day, right? So it talks about those things. And then in 2022, Krishna talks about the unmanifest nature, which is his eternal world. He talks about that, right? So that's the story. So Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all-pervading and everything is situated within him. So see, these are the things where people get about the impersonalism concept. So although he is present in his abode, he is all-pervading. Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. क्या है माताजी उसमें? हाँ हाँ.
Like he's talking about abode, that which the Vedantists describe an unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns. That is my supreme.
So what is the question, Mati? What part? Yeah, it's not so described as unmanifest and infallible. It can, yeah, indestructible. It doesn't fall. It doesn't. Yeah, he's talking about yeah. So see, if you start from 20, right? To understand 20, you have to even see what is preceding also, right? So it is read the 20. Yeah, so yet there is another unmanifested nature. So before that he was talking about the age of the day of the Brahma. So he's talking about, so that was clear, he's talking about the material world, right? Now it's saying yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. This means that he's talking about the spiritual world, and the nature of that spiritual world is unmanifest. So it doesn't manifest in front of our eyes, but is always there, right? He's talking from our perspective, which is eternal and transcendental. Now, from that relationship, we read 21. That which so to that unmanifest world, yeah, is telling Vedantis talks about, described as unmanifest and infallible. Vedantists means who understand the Vedas completely, right? That which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns. That is my supreme abode. So he's talking about the characteristic of his supreme abode and what the Vedantist. So he's giving even the example of the sadhus, right? That what they think about it. So so, and that Krishna, when he's teaching, many places he will bring the sadhus and the saints, that what they think also, right? He's telling that, oh, just don't believe on my word, right? There are the other people which you might trust. They also say the same thing. And then 22, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. So this is a very wonderful understanding. Although he is present in his abode, so it's not that when Krishna is here, then he's not available on his abode. He's always there. It's Achintya Shakti, right? So Krishna is always, and his personal form is there. Yet he can manifest the pastime in other universes also, and he's present, yet he's all pervading through his Paramatma Shakti, right? He's all pervading and everything is situated within him. So we know that how to go to the spiritual world only by unalloyed devotion, right? So Ananya Bhakti. So pure Bhakti. Only by Ananya Bhakti we can go back to Krishna.
Then why they fall?
Sorry, Mataji?
Why they fall into material world when they cannot think other than when their eternal nature is serving and thinking on remembering God? Why the Atma has fallen?
Okay, so you're saying that we say that we all were in the material world and then we fell. If that's what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, because so see, yes, because we wanted to enjoy
But we
irrespective of,
think
so think means what we are
like how come, like this is thinking, right? This is thought that I should enjoy. Like so then when we don't have capability of thinking, then how come we thought about this that we want to enjoy?
We always had the capability of thinking. We always had the free will.
Even in spiritual world?
Yeah. Here we are. It's
That's why we think now.
Yeah, I
I
read
want to get
recently
served.
the power of thought is part of soul. But again, I'm not very clear about that thing. That power of thinking
yeah,
is part of soul.
yeah. So when we have this, so I don't know whether you're still. I'm not sure where the confusion coming. If the confusion is because you think that we have the gross body, then we have the subtle body, and that's where the intelligence, mind, and ego is. And you're thinking that if that is not there, how the soul has that, this thinking, feeling, and willing. Yeah, soul in we have eternal. The concept is it is eternal body, right? And the eternal body, there is no subtle body. Eternal body.
Yes,
So
no
yeah,
subtle
yeah.
body.
And soul has intelligence. Soul has the spiritual intelligence. It is covered. So it's not that soul doesn't think. Soul has the thinking, feeling, willing. But with the covering of the subtle body, that thinking, feeling, willing is getting dirty by the matter of this thinking, material thinking, feeling, and willing. Okay, but the thinking, feeling, willing is always in the soul. That's the consciousness. No, okay. So this no. So this is no. So this is the question. Other people have asked that if I have fallen once and I go back, then again I may fall down. That's the question, right? They say that it's never going to happen again. The reason is once we have fallen in this world, we are going to now. If you're practicing Krishna consciousness, why you are practicing? Because you have understood that hey, this material world is not good for living. You've understood that. And now your desire to go back to Krishna is increasing, and then that's the reason your bhakti will increase. And with now you want to go back. You want to go back. Then you're not going to repeat the mistake. You're not going to repeat the mistake. So that's the answer. So yes, we fell once. Now, so that's the reason before we go back, Krishna makes sure that we are ready and we are not going to repeat the mistake. He's going to. That's the reason he's looking for the full purity, full surrender. He says that you surrender to me. So once somebody surrenders out of love, then they're not going to they're not going to make the mistakes. So that's the answer has been just be assured that you're not going to come back again. You're not going to make the mistake.
Other day I was just one Prabhu met me. I'm not saying the name. One Prabhu met me, and then we met, and then later I went to Costco, and all of a sudden I saw Prabhuji. Oh, Prabhuji, you came here. Then Prabhuji was saying, "Oh, Prabhuji, thank you for coming. Otherwise, I was getting tempted to taste that sample food, whatever they are giving. You came here to just warn me against watching." Then I think Krishna will make sure he will put the guards if you are getting fallen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
seriously, Mataji, I mean, yeah, Krishna is there to
No,
just,
yeah, so
put us in a right path. If we are fallen.
बिल्कुल.
We may not know.
Yeah, let me share a very, very personal story with you. Very, very personal story. I think 10 years ago or something, right? I was already practicing and chanting and doing, right? Of course, I'm much younger. And our college has organized the 10 years of leaving this college in here. Alumni meet, yeah, 10 years in Vegas. So everybody was there, and of course, in their Vegas, they all want to do masti. They are going here and there. So boys, but they noticed that I was wearing the tulsi mala, and then okay. So of course, I was not drinking anything. That was all fine. But they wanted to go to all the boys wanted to go to the strip bar. I said, no, I don't go. But they are like, they are roommates, right? I have lived in boarding for a long time. So they are very different kind of relationship. So come on, Deepak, can't you do for us? Come on, you don't need to do anything. Just come with us. Very insistent. So like half an hour, 1 hour discussion happened. Um, Ultimately, I said, okay, I'll come. Now I went there. Now we want to enter into the strip bar, right? There they said that oh, there is a cover charge. Cover charge, you have to pay $50, $80 before to enter. That was okay. Now, okay, because the money comes, so I'm not going. Now I'm not paying. Krishna saved. Krishna saved me. Because see, once you are inside, I don't know Maya Shakti is so powerful coming in the form of a woman body is very hard to resist. But how Krishna protected? I always remember. Krishna will protect Mataji. Krishna will protect. Always have that faith. And he will purify because he really wants us to be back. He really wants us to be back. We have to take one small step. He takes 10 steps. But if I have little desire, no, let me go. Let me enjoy a little bit. He won't protect. Then he said, enjoy. Because you are here to enjoy, enjoy. He will enable me to enjoy. Ultimately, then he will enable me to enjoy. If I want to enjoy, Krishna sees that I really want to enjoy. But see, but then free will, because we are here to fulfill our desire. He wants us to go and enjoy the desire. And through that enjoyment, we will learn that this is not worth enjoying. Unless we do that, हाँ बिल्कुल बार गलती करके जब थप्पड़ पड़ then you realize that oh man, this is not worth it, right?
जब हम ऑलरेडी टच में रहते हैं तो फिर बचा भी लेते हैं.
बचाते हैं बिल्कुल. That's the reason why see when Prabhupada established ISKCON, and the manifesto he wrote, this is the place where all the like-minded people come and grow together. So growing in bhakti is not very easy if you are, let's say I become a bhakta and then I'm going and living in I don't know, in, let's say I went to South European city where I didn't find the temples. It will be very difficult for me there. I'll get caught up in the Maya. So I need to have a connection with the devotee, because then they cover each other. Because I have a tendency to I want to. Bilkul. And then Prabhu said, right? Like if you're in with somebody will warn you. And then you see that person, oh, even though I wanted, but I saw that, oh, what they will feel that I'm not a devotee. Even that will save me, right? That will save me. Yeah. So yeah, Krishna is very kind, Mataji. Very, very kind.
कुछ लोग मतलब बोलते हैं कि हम पूरा टाइम याद करते हैं कृष्णा को याद करते हैं, बट आप उनके एक्शंस देखो क्या कर रहे हैं. तो ऐसे कई हमने लाइक जैसे यंगर एज में बड़ों का सुनते थे कि कई लोग बहुत अच्छा लाइफ करते हैं, पूरा डोनेशंस भी करना, गरीबों का भी देखना, और सबकी सेवा का भाव रखते हैं. पर जैसे हमारे सिटीज में इतना मतलब कुछ लोग करते हैं, चैंटिंग करते हैं बट नहीं करते यूजुअली. तो फिर उन लोगों में जो अच्छे भाव से सब कुछ कर रहे हैं पर चैंट नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो वहां पे उनकी सेवा और वो सब
तो देखो क्या होता है ना, कुछ लोग they live in the mode of goodness. They will be doing charity, they won't be eating meat, they will be very respectful. Yeah, they are in the mode of goodness, but they don't understand the love of Krishna. They don't know that what loving means and that what it means, right?
You take rebirth, and
Yes.
that's where they say you get that privileged birth, but where you are in the association.
Yes.
Or you,
Yes. Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah, and if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita is one of the book, which the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is a story of one of the guy who was like a king. He was very rich person. He's eating betel leaf like the pan and dressed very opulently and everything. And people said he's a very nice devotee. And the devotee goes there. They're thinking, how come he can be devotee? Because devotee, you think that they won't be wearing the opulent dress. They were living very simple, right? But he's like all wearing those, and then he's rich, like he has all the very rich house and everything. And then suddenly, so he was thinking, and then suddenly Krishna's pastime comes. Somebody remembers, and that guy's faints. That guy's faint in ecstasy. He faints in ecstasy. So just by external, we cannot figure out who is devotee, who is not devotee. Right? So yeah, so
this is a wrong approach. Sometimes we judge from
yeah,
the way person is.
Yeah, we should go away from tendency of judging other people. We should always look inward, ourselves, where I am. And anything is happening to us, what I can learn from that. Not though that person is bad, right? And even if you do that, your relationship with your spouse, your other relationship, intimate relationship will start changing. And you'll see through that symptom that I'm making the upward progression. Okay. So now, so 2024, this is where we have to begin, right? Okay, so read Prabhuji. Shiva Prabhu, read 24.
Agnir aha shukla
Nirmaha Shukla
Sanmasa Uttarayanam
Sanmasa Uttarayanam
Tatra Prayata Gachanti
Tatra Prayata Gachanti
Brahma Vidojana.
Brahma Vidojana. Read the translation, Prabhu.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain the Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of fiery God in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north.
Okay, so see, so here Krishna is talking about the people, the yogi, who leave the body on certain time, auspicious moment, auspicious time, right? So just similarly, Krishna has gone into Ashtanga yoga, right? He described all the yoga system, then he had went to the Ashtanga yoga to show for the completeness. Krishna is telling there's other way people leave their body, and then and those are the method which is being described here, right? There's like a Sat Chakra yoga system, that how they leave the body. So 25, Prabhu, read 25. Or Prabhu, you can, yes, the other Shiva Prabhu, you can read.
Dhumo Ratristada
Dhumo Tata Krishna
Dhumo Ratristada Krishna
Dhumo Tata Krishna
Shanmasa Dakshinayanam
Sanmasa Dakshinayanam
Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir
Tatra Chandramasam Jyotir
Yogi Prapya Nivartate.
Yogi Prapya Nivartate. Translation, Prabhu.
The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the fortnight of the waning moon, waning moon. Oh, sorry, waning moon. The 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet, but again comes back.
Right. So here again the system, like if you leave at this certain phase, right, when the moon is waning or in this kind of waning, then they will reach up to this moon and then they come back again. So what it is telling that there is so Krishna has talked about I'm just trying to make a connection. He talked about the material world, right? Before that, 18 to 20, and then from 2022, he talked about the spiritual world. So he's taking that there is a dark world and there is a light world. Light world is spiritual world. And now he's telling there are different methods by which people will always in this darker world. There is a cycle of material world. Right, so that's the method. Even for the yogi, if they leave the body like that, they will come back again. 26, Mataji. Shukla Krishna Gati Hete Jagat Sasvate Mate
Ekaya Yate Anavritam
Ekaya Yataya Navritam
Anyate Puna.
Anyayate Tate Puna.
According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light, one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but when passes in darkness, he returns.
Right. So, and see the good analogy, see, there are different kind of planes, right? We say the aeroplanes, but every aeroplane has different capability, right? Some are the fighter jet, which can go very high. Some are the commercial jet. Some are the smaller jets. They have different capability. So soul can leave different ways, but it doesn't mean that every time the soul leaves, it will go to the spiritual world, or every time the soul will leave, it will always be in the material world, right? In certain phases, depending on the method which is given, the soul will go to the darker, means they will come back again. They will remain in the material world, right? That's how you can establish the connection. So Krishna, for the completeness, is talking about, yeah, there is other way, and these are things are mentioned in the Vedas also, right? So he mentioned because Bhagavad Gita is the whole essence of Vedas. You'll read in verse 15 in chapter 15 when we get there. Krishna says that the essence of the whole Vedas is to understand me, right? So that's 26. Yes, Mataji, 27. Yeah, Mataji, आप बोलिए. Yes, Mate. Neti Sriti Parthanjanan Yogi Muyati Kashana Sasma Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukta Bhavarjuna.
Although the he always fixed in devotion.
So see now ultimately, so now if you just read all the other three verses, and now we don't read 27, we think, oh, why Krishna is talking about, or suddenly seems that he's off topic, right? Last three verses, he's talking about Satchakra Yoga. Before that, he was talking about the spiritual world and material world. But now if you read 27, now we understand why Krishna was talking about this, right? He's telling that although the devotees knows all these two paths, right? The path of the how in the yogi way one can leave from here, one can leave the soul, right? So they know about this path, right? They are aware of it, but they are always fixed in my devotion. They don't, so yogi don't even care about that. I have to leave my body in this time, I have to go liberate. The devotee, even in the pure devotee, doesn't even care about the liberation. They don't. Okay. Good. 28, Prabhuji.
वेदेषु
वेदेषु तपश्चैव
वेदेषु
Neshu tapashyaiva
दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलप्रदिष्टम्
daneshu yat punya phalam pradeshtam
अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा
ateti tasarvamidam viditva
योगी परं स्थानमैपति चात्यम्
yogi paramasthanamupeti chadyam. Meaning, Prabhuji?
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not hearing no benefit of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal reward.
See, what did you answer? Did you get, Mataji? So what he's telling that read the meaning again and just see what devotional service really means here. Read the meaning again.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
So now you see the connection. So 25, 24, 25, 26, Krishna talked about Satchakra Yoga and how one can live. 27, he says that devotee should not worry about it. And now he's telling that a devotee, why he should not worry about it? Because when somebody is practicing the devotion, they are getting these 5 things. All the result of studying the Vedas, number 1. Number 2, the result of performing all the sacrifices. Number 3, giving the result of all the charity. Number 4, undergoing austerities. Number 5, all the pious activities. So it is devotional life is so powerful that one get the result of doing all the hard work which one would have done, right? It is that's the reason it's called the elevator system.
Can
So
you name them again?
studying the Vedas. हाँ देखो पढ़ो आप पढ़ो एक बार. You read it, Mataji. Read the meaning of 28. Read it again, Mataji. Studying the Vedas. देखो, studying the Vedas. हाँ, one.
Performing sacrifices.
Performing austere sacrifices. Yes. Number two.
Undergoing charities.
Okay. Number three.
Giving charity.
Number four.
Activities.
Number four. And fruitive activities. Number five, right? And five, right? So he's telling the five things. And then further we read.
Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal.
Number six, the ultimate, right? So see, this is the power of devotion. So it's not that somebody will say, "Oh, you are Krishna devotee. You guys are just making your scripture all Krishna." Nothing is being made up. It is directly written. And if you just read the word by word meaning, it's not that Prabhupada has made up anything, right? He's just putting the way these meanings, the way it has to be understood, right? And then
Simplified.
yes, and see, there is a huge translation on this, right? There's the big translation purport written on this.
That says that we do brahmacharya ashram and then grihastha ashram. That's what it says.
Yeah, so read the second
All the
paragraph.
austerities.
Pragya Mataji, read the second paragraph of purport.
This verse.
Second paragraph. Second.
Age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, Brahmachari is allowed to enter into the household life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment.
Okay. So just hold on. See, so far what is telling, lot of people, when we are reading Prabhupada, lot of people, they study the Veda to just show that, oh, I know Veda. But are they really practicing Veda? Right? So a lot of people, they just like a status symbol. Veda. So like, in North India, there's a title like that. Trivedi, Chaturvedi, Dvivedi, Vedi. Now title, right? But it used to be like that, right?
Yeah.
But then even those people, and why this title remained title? Because they were not devoted. They were just studying Vedas just for the sake of doing the Vedas. And then they started losing it, right? Right? So that's one part. Other is brahmachari. See, brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life. Then why they say that you should live a brahmachari life? Brahmachari life means you should not be in touch with the opposite gender. You should focus on the studies. You should control your senses. But then you're telling, oh, you are entering into the grahastha life. Means now you can interact with the opposite gender. Why then you are saying making it strict and now you're making it loose? Because now you know that how to utilize your sensual propensity properly, right? So you understand that how these systems were built, how the system were built, right? And how it has to be understood from the bhakti perspective.
And self-pleasure, it was meant to be like growing families and
Yeah. So now, okay. So now you take here. No. But here, let me talk about like so. The ideally, in a very strict sense, there shouldn't be any sexual pleasure other than to progenate the kid.
Yeah.
How many people can do that? Even though you have understood it, and I have seen that some devotee, they try to do that. And then after 10 years, what happens? Broken, even in the devotee family, broken life. Because if there is a propensity and you're trying to hold on it, let's say wife wanted to enjoy, husband say, no, you shouldn't do that. It is written. Or vice versa. Let's say wife is telling that husband wants to connect, but wife is saying, no. See. Now husband is living in a guilt. Why I'm thinking like, why I'm thinking like that, why I'm thinking like that. And then what? Because he has the propensity, then what will happen? He'll see other girl and then there's a weaker moment, he will cheat. Broken life. And there are devotees who have gone through that. So we have to understand, we should know the theory. At the same time, we have to see that what is my propensity. By doing this, am I creating worse result than what it would be. Yes, ideally, I should only use the sexual propensity to progenate, but I'm not there yet. Then it's better for me to connect with my wife rather than connect outside. Understand? So we have to be very practical also. Because I've seen devotees like, oh, Prabhu, yes, we are just waiting, we are just waiting. And then you can see their faces. Let's say the husband is telling, we are waiting, wife is all totally dried up because she's not getting the affection, the husband, what she is expecting. She's not happy, right? Even though she will do because she is a married woman and she want to respect her husband. So there is a love, but we have to, so these are very become practical considerations. So even though it's unrelated, I just don't want all of us to become very I'm not finding the word, kind of like an activist, like activists. Oh, this is the only way, this is the only way. We should be open, we should be open that the goal is to go back to Krishna. Yet there are other relationship with my family I have to take care of. Some devotees, um, uh, they they become very strict on them, and then they forget about their spouse or the children. They're, oh, I'm worshipping, I have to take care of DT, I have to take care of that. They're not cooking food for the kids and taking care of the DT. That is breaking the rule. Because to serve the DT, you are not serving the DT at your home, the human duties. They are also part and parcel of Krishna, right? So we have to be very careful that there are other relations we have to. That's the reason many times devotee, they wait. So I have one devotee, he waited for almost 10 years because his wife, he wanted his, typically in ISKCON, the gurus, they want the couples to take the initiation together if possible. Typically, they don't insist, but that's the desire. The reason is when they grow together, everything is easy. But ultimately, that devotee, because he waited for 10 years, his wife was ultimately not ready. He took the initiation, he waited ultimately. But the thought is devotional service is very enjoyable. If it is done as a practice, oh, my my wife is not taking initiation, and like, and they're thinking, and then that will lead to the fight. And if there's a fight happening in the house, how can you practice a devotional service? So, so we have to understand the very practical aspect. I want to become a devotee. And that's the reason I would like to practice in a way due to my sincerity, my spouse, other people, they start coming to it. We cannot force. You cannot force even your spouse. There will be affection, they will do, but you cannot force. This bhakti, the love, can come, only happen by. So this is so finally we completed 28. So some of the lesson, then we'll end, and then we'll have. I know today we had the long class, but it's good. I didn't thought that I will complete chapter 8. It's good. Like it's been lingering for a long time. We're going to start from chapter 9. So learning, some of the learning is, the first is learn to prioritize. So see how Krishna. Is there an example we can see how Krishna prioritized some of the things in this chapter? There were 8 questions. How much time he spent on 6th question? Two verses. And for the other 1 question, which is the death, he spent the kala. He spent the whole 26 verses. He also prioritized what is most important. So we have to prioritize our life. We should focus. Our spirituality is most important. We talked about the basic. Think about Krishna before we act. So we should always think about Krishna and then we should act. So that should be always priority number 1. Okay. Second, intent first, content next. Intent first. So, okay, this I already covered. Intent first means think about Krishna and then act, right? Content later. Third is practice is essential. Just having a theoretical knowledge like a professor, not practicing is not good. We have to practice sincerely. Many times we are more inclined to preach to other people. You should do that, Prabhu, you should chant Prabhu. And my chanting is not good. I am not chanting. Prabhu, you should only eat prasad. While when I go travel, I eat outside. So we should be stricter to ourselves. Okay, so we should practice is essential. Death is the final exam. We should prepare for the final exam. Like any good student, they always prepare for the final exam. We should prepare for the final exam, right? And love overrules rules. This is the part I wanted to emphasize. Love overrules all rules. So there are many rules in the scriptures, but the ultimate rule is love. Is the love for Krishna? Then other rules, if those are deterrent in that, that's okay. For example, Ekadashi. This is one of the Western person was asking. Ekadashi, they says there is a time to break the fast. Why? So question is, why do we need to break the fast during those times? So Prabhupada, even for his Western disciples, he would say that on the appearance and disappearance of the acharyas, he say break at noon. But sometimes the definition of noon will be happening from 1:30 to 2:30, right? Based on the muhurta and all those stuff. So some devotee follow that. But see, that's okay. They are following. That's good. Let them follow. But the main thing is affection and love. During that time, did I remember the acharyas, right? And then after that, you do the Pushpanjali, and then you can eat. You did not be waiting for the muhurta. We should not be bound by the muhurta. But if somebody can follow the muhurta, that's good. Let them do it. But many times we get so bogged down with the muhurta, like all the technicalities, we forget that what is the essence of it, why we are doing it. So I'll be doing the very good Ekadashi. Like, so what is the best way to do the Ekadashi? A day before the Ekadashi, so it's a 3-day Ekadashi fasting. Like before the Ekadashi, you eat a very simple meal like khichdi and all. Then the Ekadashi, you do the full fasting. And the next day again, you eat the simple meal, right? So that the body comes and then you. But how many people can do that, right? And the people, let's say they are doing, they'll say, "Oh Shiva Prabhu, how you are doing the Ekadashi?" Shiva Prabhu, I ate quinoa. Oh Prabhu, quinoa? I did without water. So now my Guru Maharaj says that you are fasting, but your ego is feasting. So we have to realize ourselves where we are, right? I feel, oh, I am doing a very good deity worship. I am initiated devotee. I am doing this. My ego is feasting. I'm like, externally I'm showing all the symptoms, but internally I'm like, my ego is just feasting, which is bad. Egoistic person, they can never go back to Krishna. Okay, so love overrules rules. So yeah, so Krishna's love. So ahituki apriyata. In Bhagavatam, what is the bhakti? There are two symptoms. Ahituki aparihita. Ahituki means unconditional, unmotivated. Love is unconditional, unmotivated. There should never be any motive. Okay. Hari Bol. We ended chapter 28. Sorry, 8. Yeah. Any remainder question before we end for today? All right. So we will stop the recording. So between me and